$1,200,000. That's what John has in his 401k in 2034. 30 years of saving 15% of every paycheck. He did everything right. It's not enough to cover a nursing home. How does $1 million become insufficient? The answer is on page 73 of a document called the Trustees Report, published every year. Almost nobody reads it. There's a table. It shows when the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run out of money. 2033 to 2035. Not might run out. Based on the trustees' own projections, will run out unless Congress intervenes. This isn't speculation. It's the math inside their own report. When the reserves hit zero, current law automatically cuts benefits by 21 to 23%. No vote in Congress required. It's written into the statute. Your 401k was supposed to be a supplement to Social Security. For many Americans, it's becoming the primary wall between them and financial hardship. That wall may be thinner than you think. Everything in this video is based on publicly available government data and published research. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm a researcher reading documents most people never open. None of this is investment advice. It's analysis, and you should talk to a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. The 60-40 portfolio, 60% stocks, 40% bonds. For decades, the backbone of retirement planning. When stocks went down, bonds went up. Negative correlation, built-in protection. That correlation flipped in 2022. Positive now. Stocks fall. Bonds fall. At the same time, your diversified portfolio may be two parachutes made from the same fabric. Most money inside 401 kiloseconds sits in something called target date funds. These funds still run on the 60-40 formula. Critics have argued for years that the model is outdated, but the industry has been slow to adapt. The fees remain. The allocation remains. The underlying assumption of negative stock-bond correlation? That hasn't held since 2021. Based on historical backtesting at 6% inflation, the 60-40 portfolio shows roughly an 18.9% probability of lasting through a full retirement. One green slot out of 5. Statistically, that's closer to roulette than a retirement plan. 1983. The trust fund is on the edge of bankruptcy. Congress assembles the Greenspan Commission. The fix? Raise the retirement age. Increase the FICA tax. Start taxing Social Security benefits. They told the public they saved the system. What actually happened? The baby boomer generation overpaid into the system. Trillions more than what was needed. Congress used that surplus to purchase special issue treasury bonds, essentially lending the money to the general fund. Legal? Completely. But the cash was spent on other priorities and replaced with government IOUs. Those bonds are now being redeemed. The general fund has to find the money to pay them back. And the budget is already stretched thin. But the deeper problem is the ratio. In 1983, 3.3 workers for every retiree. In 2034, 2.3. The Greenspan approach can't be repeated at the same scale. There aren't enough workers paying in. So according to the trustees' projections, the impact won't land on future generations this time. It lands on the people already retired or near retirement. And the mechanism isn't what you'd expect. It's not headline inflation you see on a price tag. It's something called COLA, cost of living adjustment. Every year, Social Security benefits get indexed to an inflation measure called CPIW, Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners. Wage earners, not retirees. Retirees spend 15 to 20% of their budget on healthcare. Wage earners, 7 to 8. Medical inflation has consistently outpaced general inflation. Every single year, the adjustment tends to undercompensate what retirees actually spend. Layer 1. Layer 2. Hedonic adjustment. The Bureau of Labor Statistics factors in quality improvements. Your new television is better than your old one, so part of the price increase gets adjusted away. Your pharmacy bill doesn't get that treatment. Layer 3 could kick in if Congress adopts chained CPI, a method already used in parts of the tax code. It assumes that when beef gets expensive, consumers switch to chicken. Every substitution is counted as a choice, not a loss. Over time, the baseline quietly shifts downward. Over 20 years of retirement, researchers estimate the cumulative effect of these 3 layers could mean a 30 to 40% erosion in purchasing power. Not a tax. Suffocation by arithmetic. 2 retirees. Both have $500,000 in their 401k. Same portfolio. Same strategy. Retiree A retires in 2019, right before the market climbs. Retiree B retires in 2022, right before the downturn. 5 years later, Retiree A has $620,000. Retiree B has $290,000. Same plan, only difference, timing. Financial planners call this sequence of returns risk. The most dangerous years of your retirement are the first 5. Bad timing at the start can overwhelm even disciplined saving. If someone retires between 2029 and 2034, according to these projections, 3 forces could converge. Social Security benefits face a potential 23% cut. CPI methodology may understate real retiree inflation by 1.5 to 2% annually. And a 60-40 portfolio, based on historical backtesting, shows under a 20% probability of lasting the distance. How many people could be affected? 68 million Americans collect Social Security right now. The median 401k balance for people aged 55 to 64 is $71,000. Not the average. The median. Half of all people have less than that. $71,000 is roughly 3 years of modest living. Assuming nothing goes wrong. The 401k was created in 1978 as a corporate tax break. Nobody designed it to be the primary retirement vehicle for 70 million people. An improvisation that became an institution. And that institution may be approaching a reality it was never built for. 2034. 8 years away. $1 million became insufficient, not because John did something wrong, but because a system designed in 1978 may not survive the math of 2034. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't a recommendation to buy or sell anything. But many financial planners suggest a simple exercise. Open your most recent 401k statement. Run the numbers. If Social Security benefits get cut by 23%, if your purchasing power erodes by 2% a year through structural underindexing, how many years does your money realistically last? If the answer concerns you, good. That's not panic. That's the beginning of a conversation with a qualified professional. Do the math before the math does you.